Greetings, everyone, and especially David Bunch of Numbers, and welcome to the final part. Well, we've opened all the packages, but I actually took some notes while listening to the audio message on the USB stick here. So I thought I'd do the aforementioned addendum before it got too late and I forgot stuff and whatnot. So let's do the addendum to the epic Colossal package from David Bunch of Numbers today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Yeah, the place isn't haunted. There's just the fan going over there. Okay, so this is probably going to mean more to David than it will to most of you, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it anyway. Okay, so to start off with, I'll just go through the notes here in order. I wanted to mention that your K9 impersonation is eerily perfect. Yeah, that was a surprise and quite cool and a little disturbing at just how perfectly you can do that. My TARDIS. You asked about the TARDIS. You find the TARDIS. Yeah, my chair's busted. Can you tell? The spring underneath actually went kablooey a little while ago, and it doesn't sit properly anymore. If I lean back too far, it goes all the way back like that, and it's quite annoying. Yeah, so you were asking about the TARDIS, if I could put little action figures in it. Well, alas, I cannot, because it's just a piggy bank. But we do have David Tennant as Dr. Number 10 and Martha Jones in there. And it normally makes sounds and stuff, but of course I have it turned off to conserve the battery. Sadly, it actually fell off of the stand back there and landed kind of crunch on the light. Now, there's no visible physical damage, but the little blinky light doesn't work anymore. Stop it. And that makes me sad. But anyway, yeah, it's just a piggy bank. No room for action figures. Sorry. But thank you very much for the thought. Yes, you were talking about Transformers Generation 2 and how the Generation 2 comic was far and away better than the Generation 2 cartoon, of course. Because it was actually a proper new Transformers series, and I believe it was written by Simon Furman, who is considered one of the all-time greats. I was going to say Star Wars, one of the all-time great Transformers authors of all time. Well, I guess it is kind of, his stuff is kind of sci-fi epics of Star Wars proportions. Sure, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's very tired, and I'm late. Yes, you know what I mean. Yes, you mentioned that, oh yeah, and I wanted to mention that I had the first issue of the US Generation 2 comic, very briefly. Got it from a complete eBay ripoff artist who was selling comics for a cent and then charging an arm and a leg for shipping, and stupidly I fell for it. Yeah, so I bought like, I don't know, a dozen comics, and it ended up being like $160 in shipping for like 12 cents worth of comics. And I was like, wow, you jackass. Like, you know why sellers do that, eh? It's because they don't get charged eBay fees on shipping. So they do that to bump up their profit margin. And this guy basically just had a flat rate for all his comics. Didn't matter what they were actually worth. He was just a dick, just a rip-off artist. Anyway, I eventually did sell it at a profit. I believe. I don't think I actually got around to reading it. I wanted to sit down and read all 12 issues, and I just never got around to getting the rest of them. So they are available all in reprints, so I will get around to reading them eventually. I've heard they're quite good. Yes, I noticed your name in the credits of Serial Geek magazine. Yes, for those of you who don't know, David actually does contribute some material to Serial Geek magazine. So, very cool. So I did see your name in the credits. I actually noticed it before hearing you mention it in the audio letter there. But yeah, I just kind of skimmed through the credits and was like, I wonder if David's name is in here because he mentioned he might be contributing something. And sure enough, there you were. So very cool. And for those who have not seen David's video response to the package opening, you'll see it attached in the video responses to one of the 3 parts. I can't remember which one. And you'd like to get a copy of Serial Geek magazine or subscribe or whatever, or get the back issues for yourself, go to www.serialgeek.com. I will put the link. Excuse me. I will put the link in the description because I'm too lazy to put subtitles today. Yeah, and also if you check out David's video response, he gives you a few other options for where you might be able to find it. So, yeah, if you're an 80s cartoon freak like we are, it is just a blast of a magazine. It's really one made by fans for fans, and it's very slick and well made. And big kudos to James Eatock and all the writers and artists who contribute to that magazine on a semi-regular basis. Agua. And now I've got the hiccups. You mentioned Transformers Zone, which was of course the single episode, like the OVA one-shot half-hour episode that they did, which I guess in terms of Japanese continuity occurs after Victory. Yeah, I actually do have a few different versions of Transformers Zone, just downloaded off of torrent sites and whatnot, because it's just not available officially. I do actually have a version that's the original Japanese audio with English subtitles, and then I actually also have a fan dub version, yes, where fans actually did the voices of the characters, and I gotta say, I haven't seen a lot of fan dubs, but the few I have seen have been extremely well done. Another one I have worth mentioning is Scramble City, because you probably know, for those who don't know, Scramble City was another standalone Japanese episode that originally aired as part of the Generation 1 rotation. It was produced to be a final episode for Season 2 to lead into the movie. However, as a lead into the movie, I honestly don't think it works very well, because essentially what the episode is it's just one big massive fight that primarily features the combiner teams. So you got Devastator and Superion and Metroplex, and I guess Metroplex isn't really combiner. Well, anyway, the combiner teams and the really big ones, and it pretty much has all of them, as the Combaticons and Bruticus and I don't even remember now. A bunch of them. Basically, the Protectobots, and yeah, it has all of them in it, and the way the fight progresses is it sort of starts with the first ones, and then it just gets to the bigger and bigger teams and then bigger and bigger robots. It just keeps escalating more and more and more over the course of the episode. And the original Japanese version ends with Metroplex and Trypticon facing off, and they're about to beat the crap out of each other, and then that's where it ends, supposedly leading into the movie. But Metroplex is kind of in the movie, but Trypticon is nowhere to be seen. We don't see Trypticon until way later in the generation, the original Generation 1 series. So yeah, well, no, I guess not way later. We see him in Season 3, but I always get Trypticon mixed up with Scorponok in the original series, because of course Scorponok was the big massive robot at the end of or in the middle of the Rebirth storyline, whereas Trypticon was all throughout Season 3. But anyway, yeah, so with Scramble City, the version that we got on the 20th anniversary DVD here did not have the Japanese audio, which I think I mentioned before. It didn't have any audio, actually. For some reason, they got the rights to have the visuals, but not the audio that goes with the visual. How does that work? Since when did you have to license the audio and video tracks of something separately? I mean, that just seems ridiculous to me. Anyway, that's apparently what the situation was, which is why we had the fan commentary track on the movie DVD here, whereas the UK version, the Ultimate set that you sent me in a previous package, actually does have the original Japanese audio. But similarly to Zone, I also have a fan dub of Scramble City, but it's not just a fan dub, it's actually a fan dub / re-edit. So it actually re-edits the episode so that it actually fits more properly into the continuity, and it actually acts as a much more coherent and solid bridge between season 2 and the movie. So, and I think it's brilliant. I think it was very well done. Not to mention the voice acting in the fan dub was fantastic. I mean, a lot of them sounded almost identical to the characters from the show, like from the original Generation 1 show. So, big kudos to whoever put together that fan dub of Scramble City, because it was really well done. I heard a fan dub of the first episode of Headmasters as well, which was also quite good. And it also, and I can't remember if they did any re-editing to that one or not. I don't think so. I think it was just a straight dub. But with the Scramble City one, they actually put the season 2 opening titles on, and they had the Autobot and Decepticon spinning symbols and stuff like that at the cuts, and it just really fit together well. They really did a fantastic job of it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, cool information about The Secret of Mamo, the Lupin movie. I did not know that there was an English dub exclusive to the UK release, so it looks like I still have to track down the old Streamline release dub of that. But yeah, that's very cool. It's always interesting to me to see what different dubs, like how the different dubs interpret the material. Oh my god, I laughed so hard when you were trying to remember Lancer's name from Robotech, and you were like, oh, I can't remember his name. You know who I mean, the girly man. And you said, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. It wasn't Prancer. And that was I just lost it. It was like, oh my god, Prancer the girly man. That was just priceless. That was so funny. And then finally, of course, you remembered it. As soon as you said Prancer, you're like, it wasn't Prancer, it was Lancer. That was Lancer. And then you remembered. But that was absolutely priceless. Prancer the girly man from Robotech. I will never forget that. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think you were mentioning. I kind of skimmed on some of the notes here, and it's been, I guess, a couple of weeks since I've listened to the message here. So apologize if I'm missing information here. But I think you were talking about a new DVD release in the UK of Robotech coming out. There's actually a new Region 1 release as well, which, as near as I can tell, has all of the material that was in the Protoculture collection that I have, plus it has a whole bunch of new featurettes and behind-the-scenes stuff and extras and stuff like that. I don't know what more they can add to it. I mean, the Protoculture collection and the previously released Legacy set, which is where all the extras from the Protoculture collection come from, was pretty thorough. Like, I really don't know what more they can add to it that they didn't already put in it. Anyway, whatever. Very cool. So he's saying, okay, now Sherlock Hound sounds even more awesome, being a collaboration between Miyazaki and the Ulysses 31 guy. Yeah, that actually sounds very cool. I mean, I'm a sucker for anything Miyazaki, and I think a lot of my viewers will be right on the same page with me there. I mean, I think he's just a fantastic director, just staggeringly imaginative, and just brings real, likability to and relatability, I think, to the characters. So he did, if I remember correctly, he did he collaborated on the first few episodes and then left to do other things, and then the rest was primarily by the guy who did Ulysses 31, whose name for some reason I didn't write down. I have actually not seen Ulysses 31 yet. I don't think we got a DVD release of it over here. It's one I've been wanting to check out because, of course, I've always, I love science fiction and I love Greek mythology. Put them both together, hey, sounds like a winning combination to me. And in anime, so sci-fi, Greek mythology, and anime all rolled up into one package, and it's called Ulysses 31. There you go. So yeah, I would definitely like to check that out at some point. We did get Mysterious Cities of Gold over here. You probably know about that. We got both a regular edition and a special edition, which I think exactly mirrors the content from the UK sets. So one of the rare occasions where we've had that happen over here. Speaking of UK versus, Region 1 sets, apology accepted for the flimsy Dungeons & Dragons complete set cover. Those of you who don't know, a while back, David sent me the complete series of the animated Dungeons & Dragons show from the 80s. I, of course, do have the Region 1 set. I did a review about it a while back. But David sent me the UK set because it has different extras, and most notably in the third season in the US version, all the music was changed for some licensing issue, whereas in the UK version, all the music is as it originally was aired. So that's the original, complete, unaltered versions of the episodes, plus different extras. But they were released as individual volumes, and then they were released as a complete series set, and then they were re-released as a complete series set in a flimsier box. And that's the one that David sent me. So I noticed a lot. It seems like everybody I know who has that complete series UK set has the one with the nicer box. It's this nice, like, sturdy cardboard thing with, like, I think a Velcro flap on it, and it opens like a book, and it's just really snazzy looking. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I mentioned here, Bookhouse Boy 77 has the better version of the set as well, and and I agree, it's quite a gorgeous slipcover. And then I just added here, I said, but the main thing is the content anyway, and for that I am most definitely grateful. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, if I had the bigger case, it would just be taking up more space on my shelf, so I'm quite happy with what I've got. I mean, it fits nicely in the collection there, and doesn't take up too much extra space, because I need to scrimp and scrounge and skimp for space as much as I can. Scrimp and scrounge and skimp. There's a bit of a tongue twister. And finally, you talked about the raccoons, how the Canadian release, I think, was missing an episode or something, and there was some other quibbles with it, whereas the UK release is actually complete, well, represents those two seasons in complete form. And a lot of my viewers corrected me. They said that the original Raccoon series was actually 60 episodes and a bunch of TV movies. And then, of course, there were the specials. I remember the specials from back when they originally aired, and I remember being quite excited when I saw that the Raccoons was getting a regular series. Although, even though by that point I wasn't quite at the right age for it anymore. But I did watch the specials when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed them. You go Canada! Yeah, so and apparently the UK set also has some extras, and does include the missing episodes. So that's very cool. So thank you once again for everything that was in those three packages. That was just fantastic, and it's going to take me a million years to get through them. Rosie should be coming to visit, hopefully the last weekend of the month, I believe, and maybe we'll fire up a few of those and check them out for the first time together. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Alrighty, well, I think I've rambled enough for now, and I think that finally wraps up the Colossal package opening from David Bunch Numbers. I actually do have one more package opening to do, and then we'll get back to the reviews. I think I'm just going to post the other package openings. It's just a single episode. It's really short. It's like 7 minutes long. So I think I'm just going to post that one after this, and then we'll be done with the package openings for a little bit. I am expecting a few more sometime in the next month or so. But yeah, I'd really like to get back to the horror reviews now, so because I know a lot of you are kind of getting edgy, like, come on, when these packages are great, but when are you going to get back to the reviews? It's like, yeah, I know. Don't worry, they're coming. So there's more horror reviews. I got lots of non-horror stuff coming up as well, but I kind of want to make use of the background that I threw together for the horror ones first. I've got like a list of ones I'm trying to get through. Yeah, so we'll get that going ASAP. Alrighty, well, one final thank you, David. Thank you. And apparently he's sending me another package already. Yep. David just doesn't stop, and I'm okay with that because he sends me some awesome stuff. Alrighty. So we will definitely all be looking forward to whatever is in the next one, and whenever that is. And yeah, so until then, thanks for watching. And sayonara. See you next time. Sorry for shaking the camera.